Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor CropLife Iron, here again with Laura Sowinski. Laura, we have made it through the holidays and into 2025. Happy New Year to you and all of your family members, of course.
Thank you very much. You too. Happy New Year. Happy 2025.
I
Yay.
know, boy, hard to believe. I can't remember how many times I'd watch like old science fiction movies and things and read stories about the future, and it was like 2025 always seemed like so darn far away, and the flying cars, and all the colonies that were in Mars and in Saturn's moons, and I'm like, okay, we're not quite that far, but we have gotten to the year date at least. So, but nobody ever predicted the internet, so this is kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Maybe we should take that back. Let's go back to.
I could do without the hula hoop, dresses they used to wear in the Jetsons. Those things always freak me out, so,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, before we go on too far, I wanna put something to bed, of course. For the last few years, we've had, various videos where we've talked about this on-running dispute between the US, particularly the corn growers who grow biotech corn, and then they export it to Mexico because Mexico actually had put a ban on those imports. They did not want biotech grown US corn coming into their country. And of course, the US corn growers were objecting to that, and that whole dispute ended up going before a dispute council under the US, Mexico, and Canada Agreement Accords.
Mhm.
And just before the new year, we found out that the dispute council that was looking at this question ruled in favor of the US corn growers, saying that the Mexican ban was based more on emotion versus science, and it violated the agreement, the USMCA. So, therefore, the Mexican ban is no more, and US biotech corn can continue to be imported into the country without any interruption. So, this was very, very good news to our friends. I know the national corn growers and various other grower associations were putting out statements, basically saying this was a good, great win for US corn growers.
Yeah, indeed. I saw that news item as well. I think it's worth noting that all seven of the legal claims the U.S. had against Mexico's rule were shut down, essentially. So now, next step, the dispute panel issued its final report to the parties on December 20th, 24. So, under the USMCA rules, Mexico has 45 days from the date of the final report to comply with the panel's findings. Also worth noting, from January through October 24, the U.S. exported $4.8 billion worth of corn to Mexico, which ranks as the U.S.'s largest export market for corn. So, yeah, very important ruling there. So, good news on that front.
Yeah, and thank you for the segue. Speaking of good news on the corn grower front, actually got a report where they were talking USDA was mentioning the fact that they were talking about ethanol exporting in
Mhm.
2024, and they talked about our friends in Canada to the north. I guess the Canadian government has a mandate in place where basically they're supposed to be increasing renewable fuel sources and usage, particularly E15, between now and 2030. And we found out that in 2024, the US exported 655 million gallons of ethanol into Canada, which was an 11% increase from 2023. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, again, the more ethanol that is being produced in the US will make its way up north and help out our friends in Canada to meet their government mandate when it comes to renewable fuels. So, again,
Yeah.
good news for corn growers on a lot of fronts right now.
For sure. Yeah. And I know it's gosh, it feels like forever since we've done a retail recording. But I know we did talk prior to the holiday break about the farm bill being extended, but for those of you that maybe were off on a faraway island for the last few weeks, um, congressional lawmakers did approve an extension of the farm bill with 10 billion worth of economic aid for farmers. The bill is extended um, through March 14th, and yeah, you mentioned the proposal to allow 15 ethanol fuel sales year round. I know that's part of that too. Um, the bill also includes 100 billion for disaster aid requested by President Biden, with 10 billion to be set aside for one-time farm economic payments, and this was according to Agriculture Dive. Um, Zippy Duvall, president of American Farm Bureau Federation, said in a statement, for many farmers, the disaster relief provided will be the difference between planting for another year or going out of business. The Farm Bill extension also offers a short reprieve and gives lawmakers some breathing room to pass a modernized farm bill that will provide risk management support. So again, we're good through March 14th. So let's hope we could, kind of get things firmed up and not have to worry about what's around the corner. So
Yep. Yeah, I know this industry loves certainty, so more certainty we can provide going into the growing year, the better I think it'll be for everybody, so.
yeah. Yeah, this time of year, obviously, looking at all the forecasts and outlooks for 25 and stuff. Still the wild card, and I was reading just today something from Rabobank, their agro commodity markets outlook for 2025. Their top concern is what may or may not happen with tariffs on imports, particularly talking about USMCA. So our trade partners, China, Mexico, and Canada. And if we kind of get into a tariff war there, what that may mean for soybeans in particular. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, some good news to kind of start us off, at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, in one sense, it's great to have all this new positive news to report on. It's not normally what we do here on Retail Week, unfortunately, but it's good to start out the year this way, and fingers crossed we'll, continue to have lots more good news to share as we go forward, so.
Yeah, yeah. I'm making a deliberate effort and a concerted effort, as it were, to try and be a little more optimistic this year. And I will say just a little plug for our February issue of CropLife. I'm working on a fungicides story, and had the pleasure of talking recently with Gail Stratman, regional technical service manager for FMC, and yeah, we had a really great talk and talking about some uh, uh, things that are making a comeback, if you will, or rearing their head. But some new products and new strategies at the same time that show real promise. So look forward to finishing up that article, and I know we have a pretty jam packed February issue of Crop Life. I know we're planning to start showcasing our awards of excellence winners, and February will feature a cover story on Nancy Borman, who is our educator and researcher winner awards of excellence. So that'll be the cover story. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. I know I'm working on my stuff, mostly focusing on spring fertility, but that will also be in there along with micronutrients and on other categories we normally cover this time of year as everybody gets ready to kick off the growing season. And of course, that'll be in the print edition of Crop Life in February, but stories from that issue will start to post on February 1st. So look for those on croplife.com.
Great.
All right. Well, Miss Laura, we'll start out the new year as we've ended the old with, of course, your favorite segment of the show. Time for fun with numbers.
All right. Well, if I recall correctly, I think I'm on um a 2 weeks recording that I got it right, which
Yeah, I
what's the
believe
number?
I believe you are correct. I mean, we've only had 2 quizzes in the last 3 weeks, but you got them both right, I believe, so we'll see
Right.
if he can continue or at least start out the year on a winning note as well, so your number this week, Miss Laura, is a dollar amount, 116,000,000.
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Laura, is 116,000,000, is that A, the amount in grants USDA has awarded to expand US produced fertilizer? Is it a B, the amount of grants to expand ethanol production in 2024? Is it C, the increase in barge transport costs for 2024? Or is it D, the amount of credit card debt I racked up during Christmas 2024?
I think yours was 116 billion in credit card debt, wasn't
Don't have that many friends.
it?
I think Elon Musk doesn't have that many friends. So yeah, we're not no, it and no, I luckily actually I will say I did pay a lot of cash for Christmas, which was, when you hand cash to cashiers, especially if they're millennials, they look at like what is this paper? What do I do with it? But so my credit card bills were actually for the year of 2024 were not that high for Christmas, thank God. So
You. Good for you. Well, gosh, so barge, I do not know about that one. So C, I'm gonna just step around. I'm going for B, grants for ethanol. No?
no, I'm sorry. It was A, the grants for fertilizer. Some
Oh,
folks may remember back at Commodity Classic a couple of years ago, Tom Vilsack, the Secretary of Ag at the time, talked about the fact that with high fertilizer prices that USDA was stepping in with the program they called the Fertilizer Production Expansion Program, and they were going to be awarding grants to U.S. Entrepreneurs who were promising to increase U.S. fertilizer production. So they announced that for 2024, they awarded $116 million worth of grants in 8 different states. Um,
great.
unfortunately, Laurie, you didn't get this one right. But I mean, again, with our sticking with our good news for the industry, there's going to be more fertilizer produced domestically versus internationally going forward because of this grant program. So expect to see more on that, I'm sure, during 2025 as well. So
Yeah, that's great. Well, at least I learned something. So
there,
I'll get
there you go. We always aim to educate. So.
straight.
All right. Well, everyone out there, we hope you had a great and happy, prosperous New Year's Day. And we will look forward to giving you more news on what's going on here in 2025 in the industry. On behalf of myself, Eric Sfiligoj, Laura Sowinski, and everyone at the CropLife Media Group, thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.